Many of you guys how many of you guys are familiar with futures? No idea. You know you can lose a lot of money really fast with futures? Well, it's definitely not as fast as with options. It's actually not that bad. If you do micros, the risk isn't that bad. Tell us how much the market won't reach that day? What do you mean? Can we buy options on futures? Yeah, you can, but I would highly advise against that. And they're extremely expensive too. They're like 5 to 10 grand a piece. I heard he said stop loss is a lot more. You said stop loss a lot more? Well, I guess. Yeah, you can definitely paper trade on futures. You can you can use a simulation account on Thinkorswim or with any prop firm. Like I'm using TopStep right now. It's like $49 for their 50K account, and you have like 30 days to play with it. Well, until you get actually it's $49. You have 30 days, and they have the evaluation phase, and they have like a simulation account too. That's free to practice. It's being deleted. Oh, what the heck? The daily looks so weird on this. A little bit buggy. Yeah, I mean, think of so right now I'm an MNQ. This is the Nasdaq futures, and the M stands for micros. So it's a tenth of the size of NQ. So NQ is extremely risky because of the margin requirements and how fast it moves. Well, it moves the same as MNQ, but I'm saying like one contract can like you could be like up or down hundreds of dollars in like a matter of minutes. MNQ is not as volatile. Uh, speaking. So NQ basically follows the QQQ. If you notice on the 5-minute chart, look at this is QQQ. Do you see this pattern? If you go to NQ, it's basically the same. Not 100% replicated, but very, very similar. So if you're not familiar with futures, NQ follows QQQ, then ES follows SPY. You notice the 5-minute, it's very identical. So if you guys trade the Qs or SPY, if you want futures, do MNQ for QQQ and MES for SPY. So consider this like just day trading or scalping like the Qs or SPY, like some of the biggest ETFs in the market, but you're just doing it with futures. What's your preferred strategy with futures? I mean, I do trade the same model I do with options, but with futures, because like the movement is so intense very quickly, you can get in and out within minutes. So, or even seconds rather. So let's say, I'll start off the daily. Let's just say today my sentiment is bearish, right? Um, so I'm gonna focus on just getting shorts. Just looking at the daily, and then I drop down to let's say the 15-minute. So every pump I'm gonna be shorting, but rather than just holding it to a target level, maybe let's say I'm reaching this level. So every short I take, instead of just holding it for this level, which I may be targeting end of day, I would just close as soon as I see any movement down. That's basically like the difference with scalping. There's no need to hold for long periods. Um, like I may take like 10 to like 30 trades on futures, or with options it's probably only like 1 or 2 a day. So I'll stick with MNQ. I like the movement a little bit better with MNQ. So right now let's go an hourly, get a little bit of bias. Um, so we had this move up, probably took out this liquidity, and we instantly reversed. We retest it. So I think my sentiment right now is a little bit bearish. Let's see if that aligns with the 4-hour. This doesn't close till 10 a.m., so we still have an hour and a half. And a daily. I don't know what's wrong with the daily. It's bugged out, but it's okay. So I think longer time frame a little bit bearish. But if you look on the 1 minute or 5 minute, this would be the 5 minute. We could have a temporary bottom here. And right now we're pumping from the 1 minute. So this is like all the action you need to be scalping. So I'm gonna see how this holds, and I'll take a trade to show you guys. Evelyn, yeah, you're correct. Yeah, no PTT. I mean, the fees are higher, but I mean, you make so much money with futures. I never pay attention to the fees. It's really not that bad, honestly. All right, we just got this massive like here. I'm gonna take one contract. I'm an MNQ. I'm gonna show you guys also like how to like manage your risk and try to like steal into positions. So remember what I said. I'm a little bit bearish on the longer time
Order
frames,
filled.
but shorter time frames, I'm expecting some type of bounce. So this is just one contract. It's not risky at all. As you can see, it's only $30 if it moves all the way up here. But in the mornings, uh, I usually do the minis. But I'm not gonna do that because I don't advise any beginner to be playing with the minis. It's extremely risky. I don't want to teach you guys bad habits. So even I'm just gonna show you scalps. Even if I only make $10 a play, I really don't care. That's the purpose of this is just to show you guys. So let's see, and then we got to sweep on the 1 minute. I expect a bounce. I want this to at least go above this. And I'll probably target like right here. Let's just say. So this would be $15.50 if this gets filled. Do you prefer micros over minis? 100%, especially for beginners. If you are new to trading in general or futures, 100% don't touch minis. You're gonna blow your account so fast. You should not be blowing your account in less than a day. Set your let me exit this position. I'll show you. But even with micros, I mean, look, $15. Like, let's say this gets executed in 5 minutes. $15 for 5 minutes. Like, maybe as a trader, it doesn't seem a lot, but if you compare this to a job, that's someone's hourly wage that I'm probably gonna make in 5 minutes. So if you think about it like that, that's not bad at all. Like that's my mentality ever since like I honestly started becoming profitable. I started to like to not focus on like the huge gains that everyone like posts on like Twitter or Insta or whatever. And especially with futures, like you can make 10 of these trades easily. In honestly like 2 hours. So 2 hours, $150. How can you complain about that? Yeah, this is being recorded.
Order filled.
What would your exit strat usually be? So with scalping, I just got filled by the way. So with scalping, it's a lot different because you're targeting very, very quick moves. So this trade I just took lasted what, 3 minutes? The reason I took it was literally just because of this 1 minute. This 1 minute candle went down, instantly reversed. I saw this pump. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get limit filled here and just target this sweep right here. All I did. This was based on 1 minute. Even though, like I said earlier, in the longer time frame, my bias was still bearish because of what we did here. But on the 1 minute, the sentiment was a little bit bullish. So I wouldn't call it a strat. It's just like you're just you're just capturing crumbs of like the movement, if that makes sense. Like when you're scalping, you really shouldn't be in a position longer than 10 minutes. Oh, my stop loss. So my daily loss limit is 1500, but with Top Step, you can automatically put your position risk and risk brackets. So the next trade I take, I'll show you what happens. Actually, I don't know if you noticed, but as soon as I took that trade, it automatically inputted at $33 TP, and there was a stop below. You just didn't see it because the chart was covering it. But Tradeovate has this option, TradingView has this option, and you can just set these up. And the reason my risk is 200 because sometimes I may scale in. But so for me it depends. So let's say right now I'm up $1,000, right? I'm not gonna let this go negative. So for this stream, I'll risk up to $600. I want to end the day at least $500 positive, right? So my stop basically now would be $600, if that makes sense. It just depends, I guess, how much I'm up, or I guess how I start the day. You can make 1K in 2 minutes in options. Yeah, I know you can. I know. So this is a 30-minute one. So we still have like these wicks forming. So maybe targeting the 15 minute. So right now, it looks like, I mean, we have these areas we can mark out. And it's really good to look at longer time frames, and you can just like mark these out. Just put like 15-minute or something like that. I'm not gonna do that because it's too much noise, but if you want to learn how to scalp, you can mark these out for yourself. And once you mark them out, I think it should show here, yeah. Let's say I'm not using 2 charts, I'm only using 1. And I start with the 15-minute, I can mark these out for myself. Then once I'm in the 5-minute or 1 minute, I'll be like, oh, okay, this is 15-minute liquidity. This is also 15-minute liquidity. Then you can stay on the 1 minute or 5-minute. How do you learn futures? Did you pick it up fast? I mean, yeah, it's basically the same as QQQ and SPY, like I said. The only difference is it's contracts instead of the underlying stock. So, like I said, MNQ is QQQ. If you go to I mean, the Qs doesn't have much volume, but it basically follows the same movement as this. So pay attention to this 1 minute movement we just had. It's the same as here, but futures market is a lot more liquid. So the only thing you really have to learn with futures is how much does the contract move. But even then, I don't know. I don't think you need to learn that much. If you trade Qs or SPY, then I think you're already set. So we got this nasty wick right now. We retested the 15-minute in the open. I'll actually take one contract here.
Order filled.
And I'll close instantly right here.
Order filled.
That's $14 in like 10 seconds. If you were doing a mini, That would have been $140 in like less than like 15 seconds. Futures just don't seem to show up in Robinhood. I've never tried futures on Robinhood. Only on Thinkorswim and Prop Oh, I think they added futures in Robinhood. Just never. I personally never tried it. So if you've noticed, I mean, we kept pumping. I could have made double I just did, but when you're scalping, you just fucking take what you can and leave. How am I supposed to know this is gonna happen? What time do you start trading futures in the mornings? Usually as soon as I wake up, to be honest with you. But I've said this recently, like since I started the server, I haven't been trading futures as much. But usually like from like 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. and I'll be done Eastern time. So pay attention to this 15-minute liquidity. Also, it's not good to place limit order if you're trying to get into position. But if you're exiting, this could be a good place to exit. Like have limit order set. But sometimes we can keep pumping. So I have to wait for this to sweep and then see how the price action reacts. Missed a buy signal. I would really caught a buy signal. I would just say my mentality of it. So this 1 minute candle we had at 8:30, we instantly dumped, and on the 15-minute, I don't know if you heard me say this, but it retested the previous 15-minute open, like literally to the tick. As soon as I saw that, I entered and exited instantly at the 1 minute retest. I could have probably held, but I just wanted to show you guys how quickly you can get in and out of trades. Also, I don't really recommend this, but what happened to my box? I also had this 1 minute fair value gap too. So I don't really rely on 1 minute fair value gaps, but I mean, you could have just marked it out. We swept any stops we had here. We basically went to the 50% equilibrium, reversed. But for the 1 minute, I wouldn't rely too heavily on this. You don't know what's going to happen. It's just probability, right? So so the reason I took this trade, I don't know if you saw this because but I just made like a trade in 14 seconds. I took this trade simply because we dumped pretty aggressively. The 15-minute retested that open. I placed my buy order 952, which was right here, 952, and I sold instantly at 1959. And the only reason I sold there is because sometimes we may just go to like the previous wick of this candle, which would have been like 19,960. So I just put $1 lower. But look how fast the trade was. Took at basically 831. Wait, doesn't make sense. I don't understand this timestamp. My trade only lasted 1 second, but that doesn't make sense. It was like a 10-second trade. Yeah, so like when you're scalping, like you just take your little moves and just honestly fuck off. I don't care to hold for any of this. So this 5 minute just opened. I'm gonna give it another minute or two to see how far down we retrace. And it's really important just to pay attention to the closure. Like let's say this 5 minute is about to close right here. This would have closed below that previous 5 minute, so that would be extremely bearish. So if this 5 minute, let's just say it closes right now, I would probably put a sell limit right here and a sell limit maybe look over here to get that retest. Either at this open of this 5 minute or near the top of it. I mean, look how aggressive we are right now. So I'm gonna see how we close. So that's I mean that's basically how I enter and exit. Yeah, I use volume profile, but these trades are so damn fast. Like it's not necessarily necessary unless you're holding something maybe longer than like 10 minutes. Yeah, it's just educated assumptions. So like since I've had like a lot of hours on the charts, I could almost guess what's gonna happen based on the price action. I'll go over this trade one more time. So this 1 minute, this was at 8:30. As soon as this 1 minute opened, we dumped. So this 15 minute, the only thing we saw was a retest of that 15 minute, the first 1 minute. As soon as it retested, I just assumed we're gonna reverse. That's basically it. I don't know 100% if it's gonna happen, but it's a good assumption basically. Could you explain what you mean? It retested a 15-minute candle after a dump? Yeah. So if you understand the candlestick anatomy, basically every single time a candlestick closes, we're almost guaranteed to retest open. So this 15 minute from 8:15 opened at 18,951. Okay, that's where it opened. This 15 minute when it opened, we literally almost retested it to the wick. Actually we did 19,951 right there, and we instantly reversed. Um, so yeah, that's basically it. Yeah, this video will be posted later. Where would you have cut the loss if it went against you? Probably just at this low. But I mean, I mainly depend on the price action. So the reason I have this, I have an automatic like stop loss. It's in case we get something extremely volatile, like for random news or anything. My max loss will be $200, but I will manually stop myself out based on price action. So let's say I was still holding for whatever reason I didn't get out. I was still holding this, and I saw this 5 minute close, which we're about to close. Looks like in 50 seconds. I would probably just get out here at any retracement we get, or just mark it out. It just depends on the price action, right? Like we could have kept going. I didn't know how this 5 minute was gonna open. So that's why it's just when you're scalping, it's very important to get in and out. You take what you can and just leave. So you might let that last trade stop out at 200, or would you have moved? No, I would have moved it. I would have let it go slip me at $200. That 200 is just a placement in case something crazy happens. I'm not saying I'm risking 200 every trade, especially if I'm only making $14 a trade. That's a horrible risk to reward. It's just like an emergency stop and I adjust it. All right, so this 5 minute is open. It's extremely bearish. So personally, what I would do is just put like a sell here because this would be retesting this 5 minute. I don't know if we're gonna get that much. Then zoom into the 1 minute and see. We do also have like this massive fair value up here, but like I said, I don't really like to mark the 1 minute ones. And I mean, sometimes if you don't know exactly what's gonna happen, just wait it out. You don't have to take the trade every 5 minutes. What's the best time frame to trade futures in Eastern time? I mean, probably in the New York session, like 9:30 to 11:30. It is a lot more volatile. Like even right now, I mean, we're 8:30 basically. This is pretty damn volatile, but it'll be crazier during the market open. So if you're doing micros like during the market open, you can get very good scalps. But I mean, look, I mean, this whole day has been already crazy since midnight. That's like a good thing about futures. If you have a full-time job, you can basically trade as like an hour or two before you work. and call it a day. Yeah, futures open like 23 hours a day. It only closes between 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern time in the weekend. So you can even trade after work. But usually the volume isn't as good. But lately, it has been really good. But personally for me, I wouldn't trade between like 6 p.m. Maybe to like 10 p.m. Eastern time. Just because usually that's like a consolidation phase, and I don't know exactly what's gonna happen. The London session from 2 a.m. I think to like 5 a.m. Eastern time is really good too. Keep forgetting the times. London session from 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. Eastern time. This is also a good area to trade. And then anything after as well. But Asia session, like this whole thing, I avoid till London. Because I mean look at this. This just a massive trend. I mean unless you shorted this and you got lucky. But I hate trends like this. Especially if you get stuck in a long, like what if you long, near the open of London? You would have been stuck all the way until London high. What's the name of the order? Sell flow on the right? That showed up earlier? In my orders? Like these? Or what happened after? It's the moving order. Here? These are just buys and sells. This is level 2. So this is the ask size. So at every price, you see how many contracts people are selling and how many contracts people are buying. It's moving a little bit too fast. Let's slow down, but I have on medium. Regarding prop firms, once you've passed the evaluation, are you obligated to trade every day and meet a profit threshold? No, you're not. You're not obligated. But I know with Top Step and My Funded Futures, depending on the account size you have to make a certain amount in a day for 5 continuous days to get a withdrawal. For trade day, that I don't think you have to. For trade day, I think you can make any amount. Well, I think the minimum withdrawal on trade day is 250. So let's say today I trade, I only make $5. Tomorrow I trade, make 50. But then the third day I make like 1,000. I could just withdraw as much as I want the third day since I'm over 250. So that's why I like trade day. If you guys want to withdraw your money quickly, trade day is the best. Top step takes a while for the withdrawals to come through. Do you only trade the US indices? Yeah. I mean since NQ and ES are based on the biggest ETFs, I just follow these. How come you use top steps if you prefer trade day? It's easier to stream this. I also trade on trade day. But the issue with trade day is I can't stream it because it shows my account credentials on the top. With top step they blur it out or they cover it. Do you trade the 1 minute at all in futures? Yeah, I just made a couple trades on 1 minute. All right, let me make another trade and stop yapping. Let's see what we can do on here. So this is kind of a little bit bearish, but I'm expecting a little bit of a retest. The 15 minute. Look on the 5 minute. Remember that 5 minute open I expected here, so you may retest this. But if you don't hit it, um, so how I see this is I don't know why my square keeps going away. This could be possibly an area of an imbalance forming. So I actually don't think we'll hear here anymore. We may just go to like a little bit on top of this 5 minute, maybe up to like the 50% and then reverse, but we'll see. I think this is a little bit bearish now. But even though if I'm a little bit bearish, I still don't like shorting near the bottoms. Because if you get so I think the best thing, but like the most important thing about trading is just getting your optimal entries. So even if I'm a little bit bearish here, I feel like shorting here is just not a good entry. Like even if this ends up going, 20, 30 points lower, if it reverses, I just put myself in a very bad spot. Let's say I'm bearish, I short one contract. I may keep adding and get stuck in a short position. So I would rather short at like pops like this. Even if it does reverse, at least I don't have a bad position. Or keep going, sorry. Also, Kazimo TopStep does have, in my opinion, the best platform. Like I really like this platform they have. Yeah, and platforms are really cheap too, so I would recommend diversifying. So you can like, let's say for Top Step, I just want to focus on scalps, like the 1 minute or 5 minute scalps. But then on the side, I may have like trade day or my funded futures open, and I'll just focus maybe like on the 15 or 30 minute, and just focus on like a little bit longer plays. So we just hit my 50% equilibrium on the imbalance. So this actually been a really good short. Then we instantly wake back down. Actually, I may short this here. Let me see if I can grab 2 contracts. All right, looks like I'm not gonna get that anymore. You could have marketed into this. I personally don't like marketing just because may get a little slippage. Actually, with these you probably won't. But I usually stick to just limiting in. This is still bearish. It's 5 minutes about to close. Keep these orders, see what happens. But if I would have marketed into this, I think I would have gone filled like around 19947. Now I would have just closed at this 15-minute sweep we literally just had. So that would have been 10 points. I actually don't know how much that would have been. Maybe like another $20. Even though like this can keep going lower, I'm just gonna target like each quick like sweep areas we get. Like my reason for this, I marked it on the 15 or was it the 5 minute? I marked it on the 5 minute. We had this imbalance. We could have shorted this at the 50% and closed at like at a sweep where retail traders could have their stops. We just swept it, and now we may reverse a little bit. But this 15 minute the way or this 5 minute the way it closed is still pretty bearish. Also, if you notice on this 5 minute closed pretty bearish. What did we just do right now? We retested the 5 minute open previously. I can zoom in and show you guys. This 5 minute opened at 19,944, and we literally just hit it to the tick. So you could have shorted that too, and once again, just made your quick scalp. Did I explain it to you, Alan? Why I would have shorted? No, not no. Just because we sweep a level doesn't necessarily mean you have to long, because it could keep going further down. A sweep is only valid if we get a market structure shift. So we swipe right now in the 1 minute, doesn't necessarily mean we're in reverse. I would wait for some type of confirmation first. Unless, like, I mean, you can take one contract and, like, hope for a bounce, but this one to me is a lot more riskier now. In hindsight, I think when I saw this wick close like this, especially below this, I should just market it instantly. I think I was talking and looking at the chat. Your issue with futures is that it makes too little for the stress. Why? What's there's no stress because if you do, you're probably doing minis. If you do MNQ, it's not really stressful. And with prop firms, you're not even risking that much at all. Like if you go on any of the prop firms I mentioned, it's basically $200 to start an account. Even if you blow that account, you only lost $200. Where's the stress from that? Based on a personal account, you need like at least 5K margin, and if you blow that, you basically lose $5,000. So would you rather lose 200 or 5,000? I don't know. Prop firms, there's no stress with me because I'm not risking that much at all. Like even if I blow this account with $8,600, I'm not gonna see it as an $8,600 loss. I'm gonna see it for the amount I paid for this account, which was $200. Actually, for me it was 600 because I bought 3 at a time. What was I trading for futures? Just a mixture of stocks and crypto. I started with futures sometime 2023. I knew about futures for a really long time. Actually, a lot of my trading buddies they recommended it a long time ago, but I think at the time I didn't have like the margin requirements, especially for NQ. I think NQ you need like over 20 grand if I'm not mistaken, and you couldn't hold overnight. I think that was my biggest issue. But since I don't really hold overnight with futures anymore, especially with prop firms since they don't allow you, it doesn't matter. Hold a buy for more than a day. No. And I wouldn't anyways with futures, bro. Like your goal is just to make your profits for the day and just leave. Why hold the position overnight and be stressed over it? You don't know what's gonna happen overnight. Especially like I think for the next few months with like all this the news is gonna come up. It just sleep stress free. There's no reason to hold. I'm only familiar with one firm that allows you to hold overnight, and I forgot the name, but every other firm I'm aware of does not allow you to hold. I think they force you to close at like 4:10 p.m. Eastern time. Yeah, I made a couple trades so far. I'd like to find a way to practice before paying and committing to honest. If you have Thinkorswim, there's a simulation account. Thinkorswim is linked with Schwab. I think you can either get a free trial, or I think as long as you deposit $1, you have access to it. All right. So on the 5 minute, right, we did sweep some levels here. However, I still would be very wary about buying because of how these next 5 minute candles are closing. So this candle closed bearish, we closed below this one. This 5 minute candle closed below this one. As I'm speaking, we're sweeping below further. So that's why I said there's no reason to buy this unless you get confirmation, and we never got that. So you can do futures with a smaller amount and it's worth it? No, with prop firms. Margin requirements on actual brokers like Schwab or Fidelity, whatever, is pretty high. But if you do prop firm, you can start trading futures with as little as $200. That's when I think it really helps people with no capital. Because with $200, you can basically make, I don't want to say infinite amount, but it technically is infinite as long as I guess the firm stays in business. All right, so let's zoom out here a bit. It's not this one. Zoom out this one. So do you guys remember how I said my longer time frame bias is a bit bearish? But I still made a couple of long plays here. This is why it's good to have at least 2 charts simultaneously. You get a better picture. If I was tunnel vision on 1 minute, I may have bought this. But since I had I was monitoring this on the 15-minute and the 5-minute, and I saw how these candlesticks were closing, my sentiment changed. Because there's no reason to trade every single move, man. Look how much movement we've had in like literally 2 hours. Even just 1 or 2 trades, you still could have made like $100. There's no reason to trade every single move. You're just gonna trap yourself, stretch yourself out. Just wait. I would highly recommend if you guys are starting to leave the 5-minute chart open. Don't even go to the 1 minute. And then minimum, maybe not minimum, but have like the 50-minute, 30-minute, or an hour. I don't think it's necessary to have the 4-hour or daily, unless you just want to have, I don't know why it's bugging out. Unless we just want to have a general bias, sure. But I would just zoom a little bit in. So when I started the stream, I checked the daily, I checked the 4-hour, I checked the 1 hour. My sentiment was a little bit bearish, but on a shorter time frame, I still saw some dip buying opportunities. But just remember, you have to get in and out with trading and scalping. Like, you just take what you can and just leave. Yeah, it's $50 for the evaluation phase. They call them, Top Step calls them combines. Once you pass the combine, you reach their parameters, then it's $149 activation fee. So technically, it's actually $198 combined. 49 for the evaluation, 149 for the activation. The other firm's a little bit different. I don't think my funded futures actually charges an activation, but there's a little bit more expensive upfront. And then my funded futures, or sorry, trade day. I think trade is like $78 if I'm not mistaken. And then their activation, I believe, is like 129 or 139. Are you going to do a future challenge? No, there's no reason to do a future challenge because I don't really compound futures. I just make my daily goal and I just withdraw that. This is basically like my mainstream of income. So I consider this like I guess my full-time job. I just take whatever I can make, withdraw and repeat. I don't make like I guess trades to grow the account. As long as the account is above 5 to 10,000 or 5 to 10,000, ideally above 10,000 just to have a little bit of cushion. I'm still good at trading this. All right, so look how this 50-minute candle closed. Still bearish, but we could get some type of pop. So I would mark this out right now. I highly doubt we even go to the 50% move point. Let's zoom out a little bit. What do we see next? We see an area here where we could have some potential sweeps. I think I'm not gonna mark them out with lines, but just mark it out with a bracket. So probably all the way from like maybe this 15-minute open to like here could be good potential dip buys. So now I marked this on a 15-minute. When we reach here, I could be shorting. Reach here, I can either be closing or get some bounce plays. we just targeted that. Seems like we're getting some type of good reaction. I'll give this one more minute. Also, you can notice the volume is also increasing. So this is a good sign. We either have a bunch of shorts covering, or we got longs buying. But once again, don't try not to use 1 minute. I'm showing this guy, you guys as an example, but don't tunnel vision on 1 minute. It's almost time for mark open. Yeah. I might just do one more trade and then I'll end the stream. And I think Piper's is gonna start streaming your mark open. So this is still bearish. I would actually just short one contract even if we get this bounce. And get filled here.
Order filled.
Got filled. I would probably just cover in this quick retest right here. I actually got filled to the wick. That was a really good entry. As long as we don't start closing above here, I would hold this. Let's check the 5 minute. 5 minute closes in 2 minutes. This 5 minute closes like this. I will aim to either get out and break even or near the open. Let's see. This is daily profit 100. No, right now it's currently at 1100. Oops.
Order filled.
How do you pick the stock or crypto for futures? I just focus on NQ and ES. I mentioned in the beginning of the stream, NQ follows the Qs, and ES follows the SPY. The two biggest ETFs is the only thing I focus on. You can obviously trade gold, silver, currencies, or whatever else. I just personally focus on these two ETFs or futures, NQ and ES. I think what was that? I think these are $14, $16 already. I forgot, but that trade lasted. The timestamp is wrong. Am I seeing this wrong? It says it only lasted 7 seconds, but that doesn't seem right. That was about a minute. I don't know what's wrong with the timestamp. Nonetheless, like 2 minutes to make 14 bucks, like that's still really, really good. Yeah, with scalps, I don't hold anything longer than 10 minutes. If I'm holding position longer than 10 minutes, I'm most likely stuck in a trade. Is the timestamp marking when you place the limit order and not when it filled? No, I think there should be fills. I actually have no idea. I don't know. Because it says it only lasted 7 seconds, but that's not correct. I don't know. It's not really important. I mean, you guys saw how long it took. Oh, that was definitely longer than 7 seconds. I'm not sure. Do you click on the chart where to buy and sell all? Is it different from options? Do you click on the chart? Yeah. I mean, it depends on most like what broker or software you're using, but I can just right click, market buy, market sell, limit sell, whatever. Limit buy if you have the price below. All right, I'll do maybe one more trade because I think we can get another reaction here. See if I can get this filled. See the 5. So look good for another trade. This will be the last trade, then I'll close the stream.
Order filled.
All right, we just got filled there, and I would target probably just below this. As long as it's 5 minute, doesn't close above this previous 5 minute. If it does, I'll look for loss. So if you guys notice, if this 5 minute closes above this one, this would be a market structure shift on the 5 minute. But since there's still 2 minutes left, this hasn't confirmed it yet. You clicked limit sell instead of buy. Is that how it works? I don't get the question. You can, if you right click on top of the current price, it will show you limit sell because you're shorting. You click limit buy, or if you right click below the price, it'll turn to limit buy. Yeah, so this is a short position. But if this 5 minute closes where we're at right now, I'll just get our loss. We got 1 more minute. Let's see. Oh no, it's not the same as options. Just consider this like you're trading stocks. You short, you click sell. You're buying, you hit buy. Don't confuse this with options. It's a completely different game. All right, looks like this 5 minutes gonna close. We got 10 seconds left, so I will just look, just get out. Oops, why did I do that? See if I can get limit filled. If I don't, I'll just mark it out. Oh yeah, I'm so confused. Why did I get filled? Did you guys not see it go through? What the heck? Okay, whatever.
Order filled.
That was very odd. So that was like a $22 loss, but I think I was still positive from the 3 trades I made. Yeah, did I make a mistake? I dragged it and then it moved it to the middle. I don't know if it changed the order. So I sold. Yeah, I remained at buy order. I have no idea what happened. But, I mean, that's a good thing with micros is I mean it was only like a $22 loss. If you're using minis, that would have been times 10. No, it was a buy order, but when I dragged it, it like moved to the middle order. It's never happened before. That's okay. All right, I'm gonna end the stream there. I think I did like 4 trades in like an hour, so that was pretty good. Then once Piper gets on, I'll see if I'll stream with him as well.